Hello again. I wanted to get on, do another video. I spent a day researching some stuff on the web, and I watched a lot of YouTube videos lately about people ranting and raving about how everybody is supposed to boycott Black Friday, no buy day, to protest about high prices. And every one of them is sprinkled liberally with how we should buy local. Buy local. What can we buy local? I mean, people that make things are not always local. I'm looking to buy a new gas grill in the spring, and I have a local store that sells stuff like that, but they don't make them. They buy them from the same place. Walmart, Target, Home Depot, Menards, all the bigger scale stores buy stuff like that. They don't make them. And the big stores buy in big quantities so they get discounts, and that's why they can sell the same grill for $45, $50 less than that local store. And I don't understand why people don't get that concept that local's not always an option. I mean, I don't, if I need new sneakers, there's local stores that sell sneakers, but there's not a little guy in the back making sneakers. They buy them from a wholesaler. They mark them up and put them on the shelf and sell them. And the people that really care about the local thing, well, they go buy them and they pay too much. But the whole nation boycotting something, that's really kind of a stupid idea, honestly. I mean, come on. Remember that time when some idiots proposed that we specify a day and not buy gas that day? I mean, that was such a stupid thing to say. And it came from stupid people that didn't think it through enough to realize that those same people who needed gas on that specified day will just buy it the next day. And that might even make a record sale day for the gas station. It surely wasn't going to hurt the gas stations. I mean, God, you're not going to hurt oil companies. But this year, it's the Thanksgiving thing is what's coming into play. I mean, this is bad timing for all of this. There's so many people boycotting Thanksgiving, their word, not mine. I will say skipping Thanksgiving, because they say buying all that food for one day would wipe out their food budget for a whole week. Apparently nobody thinks of having everybody bring dishes with them when they come, but that's another discussion. They double down by saying that they can't have Christmas either for the same reasons. And of course they go for the pity party, saying how just awful it'll be for the kids. And of course, whenever you want sympathy, you just pull out the old, "Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?" Usually spoken by a hysterical woman. Well, here's some truth for you, okay? You may not like this, you may not be happy to hear it, but here it is. If you hate Amazon, don't buy from Amazon. If you hate Walmart, don't buy from Walmart. If you hate Target, Best Buy, any of them, don't buy anything from them. And this is the point where it's going to hurt. So get ready for it. Okay, ready? They don't care. They don't care. Those stores don't give a damn about you at all. And they never did. Companies everywhere are closing their doors, laying people off by the thousands with an email sent at 4 a.m. or a Zoom call. And there's people all over the internet whining about it. You know what? They don't care. Employers aren't loyal to you. They don't give a damn about you. You're a number. I remember when all the IT wizards in Silicon Valley were posting videos bragging about getting a job at Microsoft or Google to work with software engineers and being assigned to AI development teams and all of that. And eventually they all got laid off because the AI code they wrote was so good that AI code replaced the people that wrote the code. Once again, you know what? Nobody cared. Not Microsoft, not Google. Nobody. Nobody cared. I mean, there really needs to be a time when people start believing that we don't really matter in the grand scheme. Your employer looks at you as an employee number. And a computer can delete that employee number with a keystroke, remote into your computer and wipe it clean, cancel your cell phone, turn off your access badge, and you no longer exist. And they don't care. We've got video after video of these 25-year-old kids that are applying for hundreds of jobs every week and never even get an email back telling them that they didn't get the job. Because nobody cares, they don't matter. Nurses are being laid off in record numbers as hospitals bow to kiss the ass of the bottom line. It is finally coming to a point now where people understand and believe hospitals are businesses. Businesses need customers. And businesses, in order to enhance that bottom line, need to cut expenses as far as they can. I can't tell you in my long life how many times I heard people tell me, well, I'm a nurse. Nurses are in demand. We'll always have a job, us nurses. Yeah. Thousands got laid off last week. Thousands are probably going to get laid off next week. Kroger's. We all need food, right? Kroger's sounds like a pretty safe place to work. Nope. Kroger's is shedding people like a snake sheds its skin. And Kroger's official reason for laying people off and closing the delivery centers is, and I'm quoting here, to improve e-commerce profitably, streamline operations, and shift to a hybrid, in quotes, fulfillment model that utilizes existing stores and third-party partners. The company stated that in some dedicated fulfillment centers they were not meeting financial expectations. So they're closing them. And I read that about 3 times, and that is word salad worthy of Kamala Harris. All that flowery language just means that we are a greedy corporation who wants to wring out every last penny from this business before we close it down for good next year. All those people losing their jobs, delivery drivers, warehouse order pullers, all of that. Once again, they don't care. You don't matter. And the sad part is we should all really get used to this. It's turning bad, folks. It's turning to a bad place. These young kids, 25-ish, the Gen Zers who've always had mom and dad there, mom and dad may not be able to support you anymore there, child. These kids don't have jobs, yet they continue to spend at a record pace. As of this month, the outstanding credit card debt in the United States is $1.23 trillion. Student loans, frivolous spending account for a large part of it. And the Gen Z folks live with the attitude that, well, I could die tomorrow and I want to live now whether I have the money or not. So they walk around at their young age with $80,000, $90,000 worth of debt, expecting that the universe is just going to take care of them. That's not going to happen. They go on vacations that they can't afford. They DoorDash 4 nights a week. It's horrible. I mean, bottom line is we're set up for another depression like the one in 1929. There are no jobs to earn money. Prices on some items are really high, and people keep spending as if they don't understand that every credit card transaction is nothing more than a loan at 29 to 34% interest. And they think making minimum payments every month that they're doing a good job handling their money. Well, no, you're not. I mean, if you pay a minimum payment, like 90% of that is interest and 10 of it is principal. And then to compound the felony, because they made a $50 payment, they go out and spend $55 on the credit card. So they make that minimum payment, 10 of which goes to principal, and then go spend $40 over again. So it's horrible. It really is that there's no education on this stuff. I mean, most of them are going to be moving back in with their families soon because they can't find a job. And you know, part of that stems from an outdated notion that we all had that any college degree automatically translates into a job. And that is just not true. It just isn't. I've watched so many videos of people that have earned degrees in just completely useless fields of study, and then they're surprised when they can't find a job. I don't quite understand that. There was one young girl who had a degree in interpretive dance. That was my favorite so far. Interpretive dance. I didn't even know you could get a degree in something like interpretive dance. Because interpretive, look at that word. How do you interpret something? That's like asking somebody a question that calls for their opinion, and then they mark it wrong. And I had that happen to me in college. Some professors said, give me your opinion about whatever the topic was. I don't even remember because college was a million years ago. And he marked it wrong. And I appealed it, and we had a meeting. I said, you asked me for my opinion. I gave it to you. You marked it wrong because my opinion didn't match your opinion. So ask the question in the way you're asking for what you want to hear. Give me your opinion of what my opinion is about this topic. And I ended up winning that appeal, and I got my A, and I kept my perfect record of never getting anything but an A. Perfect. Then there was one girl who was Mexican, from Mexico actually, went to school in California. She was tatted up to where she has more ink than skin, and I counted 9 facial piercings. And she was proud to say her degree, and she said this with a giggle, that her degree was in Latino culture. And I just shook my head and said, you went to college for that? You're Mexican. If you want to learn about Latino culture, call your abuela on the phone and ask her how Mexico was when she was a kid. She will never get a job in her field. Never. And the big problem is that fallback jobs like fast food and retail, they aren't there anymore. People are getting laid off from other jobs and they dive onto those Walmart floor walker jobs like their top 10, Fortune 500. I mean, it's just been crazy. I mean, Walmart's laying people off at the corporate level, and some of them are trying to transfer down into the store support positions. Amazon's indirectly gotten rid of a lot of people because Amazon, I don't know how many of you people know this, they don't actually hire those drivers. Those drivers work in businesses called delivery service partners who Amazon hires. The delivery service partners hire the drivers. And when times got tough, Walmart started terminating the contracts of those DSPs, who in turn had no job anymore. Then they fired their drivers. That's going on all over the USA. Every city, the DSPs are losing their contracts. I know a couple people it happened to. Not in this area where I live, but a friend's spouse. You know, UPS fired 34,000 people from what they called operational positions, meaning warehouse workers, because the robots can do that job better, more accurately, faster, and 24/7. So that's where those are going. They also laid off 14,000 more from management positions because as the operational people got let go, there's less people to manage, less managers needed, and who needs to manage a robot? As long as it's coded correctly, that robot's going to get it right like 100% of the time. So I really don't know where all this is headed. Nobody really does. But I can say that after hearing stories from my parents, both of whom lived during the Depression of 1929, I'm so glad to be closer to the finish line than the start. I mean, all I can tell you folks is buckle up because it's going to get rough. It's already rough, but it's going to get rougher. I mean, those of you who were smart enough to stash a decent amount of money in an emergency fund rather than taking expensive destination vacations, you've got a shot at outrunning this. But those who didn't, well, again, buckle up. The Depression in 1929 lasted on paper 10 years until 1939. But the economy didn't really stabilize until the early 40s when World War II started and men got, I'll call them jobs, when they were drafted into military service. Speaking from firsthand experience as having been military during the Vietnam era, that was likely not their first choice to be packed up and sent to a war zone. I know it wasn't mine, I'll just put it that way. So, yep, folks, if you have any way to do so, open up a savings account and fund it as much as you can. Cut back on things that you want rather than need. Maybe start cooking more and going out less. Consolidate trips when you drive, saving gas. All those little things that you can do are going to help you. It's not going to fix the problem because we're each individually, we're just one person. There's one person, buying less groceries isn't going to hurt a store. It's going to do nothing but help you stretch your food dollars out if you cook more and things like that. I almost wish I wasn't a good cook. I wouldn't be as big as I am if I wasn't. But, Sometimes it's a curse. Sometimes it's a blessing. So that's about it for tonight. Once again, buckle up, and I will see you all in the next one.